They say fame has a price. But what if that price isn't money or sanity, but your soul? Tonight's story comes from someone who was hired as a backup dancer for Gaga. What started as a private midnight rehearsal turned into something far darker than performance art, because what he witnessed that night wasn't human. But before starting our video, subscribe our channel for more horror stories. When I got the call to dance for Gaga, I thought it was a dream. I'd been doing background gigs for years, but this was Gaga. Her manager said it was for a private recording session. No cameras, no phones, just movement exploration. That sounded weird, but it was everything's weird here. The session was set for midnight at a studio no one had heard of. That's when things started to feel off. The place wasn't on any map. GPS led me to an empty warehouse on the outskirts of downtown. One dim light flickered over the rusted door. A man in a black coat stood outside, clipboard in hand. "You're one of the dancers?" he asked. I nodded. He didn't smile. "Once you go in, don't touch anything unless she tells you." He opened the door, and a heavy wave of incense hit me. Inside, it didn't look like any studio I'd seen. Candles lined the floor, strange symbols painted on the mirrors. The air was heavy, thick with the smell of burnt sage and something metallic. 3 other dancers were already stretching silently. Then I saw her Gaga sitting in the corner, head bowed, whispering. Her platinum hair glowed under the red light, and for a second, I thought she wasn't alone. When she looked up, her eyes didn't seem real, like 2 mirrors catching firelight. "You all came," she said softly, smiling too wide. "Good. He's been waiting." No one asked who he was. She stood, motioned for music to start, but there were no speakers. Instead, a low hum filled the room, vibrating the walls. My chest felt tight, like the air was alive, pulsing. She told us to move freely, as if your body doesn't belong to you anymore. Her voice was calm but commanding. As the hum grew louder, the candle flames twisted, bending toward her. I started to dance, though I don't remember deciding to. My legs moved on their own, syncing with the rhythm that wasn't there. Gaga moved in front of a large black mirror. I swear it, rippled. She started chanting in a language I'd never heard. Not Latin, something older. The mirror behind her grew darker, swallowing the candlelight. One of the dancers froze mid-step, staring into it. "What's that?" she whispered. Gaga turned slowly, her tone shifting. "Don't look at him until he looks at you." That's when the mirror breathed. The reflection wasn't ours anymore. It showed a tall figure behind Gaga horns, or maybe shadows shaped like them. My stomach dropped. She bowed her head and said, "Welcome, my light." The candles flickered violently. One dancer screamed, ran for the door, but it slammed shut on its own. Gaga didn't flinch. "No interruptions," she said coldly. I backed away, trying to make sense of it. This wasn't performance art, it felt ancient, deliberate. Gaga began moving her hands in circular motions, tracing symbols in the air. The black mirror shimmered again, and I swear a hand pressed out from inside it, pale and clawed. "Lucifer accepts your devotion," she whispered. Then she smiled directly at me. Her gaze locked onto me, and for a moment the room went silent. No hum, no breath, nothing. Just her eyes glowing faintly red in the candlelight. "You can see him too, can't you?" she asked softly. I shook my head, but she smiled, knowing I was lying. "Good. Then he's chosen to show himself." The mirror's surface pulsed again, like something breathing just beneath it. The air turned freezing cold. My breath came out in clouds. One of the dancers started sobbing quietly. Gaga lifted her hands, and the humming returned deeper, darker this time. "Repeat after me," she commanded, her voice layered, as if two people were speaking through her. My tongue moved before I could stop it, mumbling words that burned in my mouth. The candles flared, forming a circle of light around Gaga. In the mirror, the shadow grew taller, clearer, a man, dressed in black, his face obscured by smoke. I couldn't see his eyes, but I could feel them, staring right through me. Gaga dropped to her knees and whispered, "My devotion is eternal." The figure extended a hand toward her reflection. She pressed her palm against the mirror, and it swallowed her hand. Not like glass, like water. The room shook violently. One of the lights burst, scattering glass across the floor. I yelled for someone to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. "Stay still," Gaga shouted, her voice echoing unnaturally. "He's here now. Don't anger him." Her arm slid deeper into the mirror until it was up to her elbow. Then she began pulling something out. A black object, dripping with what looked like ink or blood. It was a mask carved with strange runes. "He wore this," she said, cradling it like it was holy. "Now one of you must." We froze. I realized then we were trapped in something far worse than a rehearsal. She turned toward me. "You felt his energy first," she whispered. "You'll carry it." I stumbled back, shaking my head. "No, before I could finish, she was in front of me, faster than human. She pressed the cold mask against my face. It burned instantly. My vision blurred, and I heard laughter, deep, guttural, inside my head. "He likes you," she murmured. When I opened my eyes, everything was red. The candles, the floor, even Gaga's face seemed to bleed color. The other dancers were gone. The mirror showed only me and her. "You've been marked," she said softly. "Now you'll dance for him, not for me." I tore the mask off and screamed. The reflection didn't match my movements anymore. I woke up hours later, alone. The candles were out, the floor stained with something dark. No one answered my calls. When I stepped outside, the sky was pale, dawn breaking. My phone had dozens of missed calls, but none from the studio. It was like the whole night vanished. My agent swore no one booked me for that gig, and no one ever mentioned that studio again. For days, I couldn't sleep. My dreams were filled with that mask, that shadow behind Gaga. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard the hum again, like it was coming from inside my skull. I tried calling the other dancers, but their numbers were disconnected. It felt like they'd been erased. My reflection still didn't look right. Sometimes it lagged a second behind me. A week later, I got a text from an unknown number. "You're never supposed to see him." No name, no reply option. That night, my lights flickered 3 times, then stayed off. When I looked in the dark window, I saw a figure behind me, tall, still, just like in the mirror. But when I turned around, no one was there. My body felt heavy, like something was holding me down. I stopped taking jobs. I couldn't be on stage anymore. Anytime music started, my body would twitch on its own, mimicking that same slow, ritual movement from the studio. It felt like my muscles remembered something I didn't. My chest would tighten until I almost passed out. Then one night, I saw her again, Gaga, on TV, performing live. It was a new show, some charity event. But as soon as she began to sing, I recognized the same hum beneath the music. No one else seemed to notice it. She was wearing that mask. My stomach twisted. I swear, for a split second, she looked straight into the camera and whispered something, my name. I turned the TV off, shaking uncontrollably. After that, the dreams got worse. I'd wake up in strange places on the floor, drenched in sweat, sometimes with dirt under my nails. My apartment lights would flicker every night at 3:13 a.m. one night. I heard footsteps pacing my living room. I grabbed my phone flashlight and went out, but the room was empty. Only my mirror had fog on it, like someone had been breathing on the other side. I covered all the mirrors after that, but it didn't help. The hum followed me everywhere, quiet during the day, deafening at night. I tried telling a friend what happened, but as soon as I mentioned Gaga's name, their phone cut out. The connection dropped every time. It's like something was censoring me or protecting her. A few nights later, I got another message. He's not done with you, then a video grainy, like security footage. It showed me dancing alone in that same candlelit room, the one I thought I'd left behind. Only this time, Gaga wasn't there. Just me and the shadow behind me, moving perfectly in sync. I threw my phone across the room, heart pounding. That night, I heard singing coming from my hallway. Her voice, soft, distant, like it was seeping through the walls. I followed it, trembling. The closer I got, the colder it became. When I reached my door, the music stopped. And then, faintly, I heard whispering right behind me my name again, this time said by two voices at once. One sounded like hers. I turned around, expecting to see someone, but there was no one there. Just my covered mirror. The sheet over it began to move, like something underneath was breathing. I froze. Slowly, I lifted a corner of the cloth. My reflection stared back, but it smiled before I did. Its lips moved silently, forming words I couldn't hear. Then I realized it wasn't mimicking me anymore. It was waiting. I dropped the cloth and ran out of my apartment. I drove for hours, no destination, just trying to outrun whatever followed me. Around a.m., I stopped at a gas station outside the city. The clerk looked at me strangely and said, "You one of her people?" I asked what he meant. He shrugged. "You've got the same mark." He pointed to my neck. I looked in the mirror, 3 faint scratches forming a symbol. I scrubbed my skin raw in the bathroom, but the marks wouldn't fade. When I stepped back outside, a black SUV was parked near my car. The windows were tinted, engine off, but I could feel someone watching me from inside. My phone buzzed again, another message. "You shouldn't have left the circle." I threw it away right there into a storm drain. Over the next few days, I stayed in motels, changing locations constantly. But no matter where I went, the humming followed. It came through walls, air vents, even inside my dreams. Once, I woke up to find candle wax on my hands, though I hadn't lit any candles. I couldn't tell what was real anymore. I just knew Gaga had unleashed something and it wanted me. I finally decided to visit the studio again, desperate for answers. But when I reached the location, the warehouse was gone, completely demolished. Fresh concrete covered the ground like it had been erased overnight. I asked a nearby guard about it. He looked confused. "That place has been empty for years," he said. "Nothing's been here since 2018. My stomach dropped. Back in my car, I noticed a folded piece of paper on the passenger seat. I hadn't left it there. It read, "He doesn't like when you doubt her." Beneath the message was a photo of me and Gaga in that studio, standing beside the black mirror. Only. I never remembered posing for that. My hands in the photo were covered in blood. That night, I checked online for anything about secret Gaga sessions or missing dancers. Nothing. Just fan theories and red carpet photos. But on a dark web forum, I found a thread. The Mirror Sessions. One post said, "If you hear the hum, you've been chosen. Don't resist. She's just the vessel, My hands trembled as I read. It felt like they were talking directly to me. I smashed my laptop, but even after I unplugged it, the hum continued coming from inside the walls now. My lights began flickering again, rhythmically like Morse code. I counted. 3 long, 2 short, 3 long. I searched it up later. It spelled out one word, Lucifer. That night, the candles lit themselves. And in their glow, I saw her silhouette in the corner, smiling. She stood there, wearing the same mask from the studio, but now it pulsed faintly like it was alive. Her voice came through layered and hollow. "He's waiting for your answer." I backed into the wall, whispering, "Why me?" Gaga tilted her head. "Because you saw him. Because you danced without fear." Her shadow stretched across the floor, reaching for me like smoke. The humming grew louder until it rattled my bones. "Say his name," she whispered. "And it'll stop." I covered my ears, shaking. "No," I screamed. The lights exploded. In the flash, I saw him standing behind her, tall and formless, eyes like burning coals. His voice wasn't sound, it was vibration. "She offered you," it said. "You accepted, then everything went black." When I woke, I was lying on a stage. Empty audience seats stretched out in front of me. The air smelled like smoke and perfume. The spotlight flicked on, and there she was again. "Welcome back," Gaga said softly. "It's rehearsal time." I tried to move, but my body wouldn't listen. Music started, that same hum beneath it. My limbs began to dance on their own. My reflection in the mirrored wall moved differently, slower, more sinister. It wasn't me anymore, it was him. The shape in the mirror smiled, and Gaga bowed before it. "He likes your rhythm," she said. I felt something crawl beneath my skin, something ancient. My voice cracked as I begged, "Please stop." She only whispered, "Art is sacrifice." The lights dimmed, and the hum became words, repeating my name over and over. I felt my body collapse, but my reflection stayed standing, staring down at me. Gaga turned to it, smiling. "He's yours now." Then she vanished, just gone. The reflection stepped out from the mirror, its hand touching my face. Everything around me dissolved into darkness. I woke up in a hospital. They said I'd been found unconscious outside an abandoned warehouse. No sign of Gaga, no candles, no mirror. Just a cracked mask beside me, burnt black, with my fingerprints on it. I tried to throw it away, but it always comes back. Every night, I hear that same hum, distant, calling. And sometimes, I still see her, dancing in the dark,